Great. Any questions about the meetings? Anyone else have a report? All right. Superintendent's report.
Yes, several items I'd like to share. The first is we have 2 surveys that can be found on our school district website. And I'd like to put out a special plea request to all of our community members to participate in not just one, but both of those surveys. And the reason we ask this is these 2 surveys are 2 of the best places that we can get information about how we as a district are doing and ways we can improve. The first one, which has been out for a couple of weeks now, is called the Illinois 5 Essentials. And that is actually a survey that is done statewide every year. And districts all 852 districts in the state of Illinois all receive the same survey. The information is very helpful to districts, though, and it's a survey that's given to teachers, students, and parents. And so at home, if you get on and take the family survey, for us to get results quantified by the state, we need to have 20% of our families participate in each building. And so we're strongly asking that you fill that out and give us feedback because it is quite helpful. The other survey that we just opened up last Friday was part of our long-range strategic plan, which is happening right now. All of you are aware we've started that process. And one of the key components, of course, is to get input from our stakeholders. So that survey is unique to our district. It is created for us. We are the only ones who see those results. And so what I would ask, and I know it is time consuming for families to sometimes sit down and provide that feedback, but please know everybody in our district ultimately will see those results, and it is quite helpful to us. So I ask for your support in taking part in both of those surveys. And also the rest of this is just good news that I want to share with you. Our 8th grade volleyball team tonight, Miss Johnson, our principal, she would have been here. She is not because she's at the IESA sectional championship. So if our girls win this evening, they would play in the state finals this Friday, St. Patrick's Day. So best of luck to them. And they're probably in the middle of that match right now. All of our EL students, our English learning students, are taking a field trip to MSI. So that's a district-wide field trip to the Museum of Science and Industry, not only for our kiddos, but also for their families. So that is coming up on March 22nd, and I know they're all looking forward to that. Another neat thing we do in collaboration with the high school is we have some of the varsity baseball players come back and talk to our Willow students, and I happened to just be there last year when those kids came in, and it was a really neat experience to see them literally emulating our varsity players, many of whom were former James Hart kids. So that's coming up also on the 22nd, so that's exciting. And then I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on our band, choir, and orchestra programs, because as a district we've always placed great pride not only in performing and getting our kids ready for high school academically, but also the fine arts. And so I ask each of our band, choir, and orchestra programs to kind of give me some information that I could share with all of you. And right now we're just coming off the contest season, so it's exciting to hear how our kids have performed in all the contests. So I'll start with band, which is under the direction of Beth Houston, who's a new teacher to us, not new to music, but new to us, and then Matt Johnson, who's been our band director for several years. So they had their organizational contest through IGSMA, that's the Grade School Music Association, and they are reporting for the 8th straight year they earned the highest rating in Division I, and the band is now qualified to perform at the state festival in April. So kudos to our band program. Choir, that is under the direction of a first-year teacher, again, not first year, but new to us, Nikki Sawilczyk, and then also Heather Olson. And the HCC, the Churchill Choir, has sung at a Chicago Wolves game this year. They also performed at the Black History Night Museum, which took place last month. Their final choir concert for all the choirs is coming up in April. And then also they had several students participate in solo and ensemble, and they did a great job. And then also our 7th and 8th grade Panther Choir also participated in IGSMA, and they got Division I rating, including perfect scores from 2 out of the 3 judges. So kudos to our choir program. And then last but not least, orchestra. And many of our music kids, of course, are cross. They're a choir kid and a band student, or a choir student and an orchestra student. So a lot of them participate in both, which is fantastic. But our orchestra program, Of course, we start orchestra in 4th grade, so the little littles picking up a stringed instrument. So beginning and cadet orchestras, their concert will be in early May, so we're excited about that, to have their families come out and look at all the learning that's taken place. And then it's really remarkable when you can see kids progress from 4th grade up until 8th grade, and you can see the skills develop. And then, of course, once they go to high school, to be able to follow them even to grade 12. But the orchestra program also participated in solo and ensemble, and every student who participated got a first superior rating, and then the orchestra as a whole was in the organizational contest also at IGSMA, and they earned a first superior rating with one judge giving a perfect score. So I just wanted to share all of that great news out of our fine arts program. Again, it's something that we've hung our hat on in this district, that it is important that kids not only learn math, language arts, et cetera, but that they also get a fine arts experience. And they're really excelling thanks to our wonderful staff. And the orchestra I did not mention, they're under the direction of Jen Venatullo and Sarah White. And Sarah's been with us for many years. Also want to point out our Churchill edition. So if they continue to do what they do on behalf of our kids. What I would like to do, though, is recognize them for this effort and for the sacrifice that they have made by paying them what I consider to be a nominal amount of $25 an hour for every home game for every contest that has been impacted. So some seasons are shorter. There's only 6 or 7 contests, such as track and field. Volleyball and baseball, there are close to 20. So for each of those events, compensating them for additional time. The total cost to the district for all of our activities to do this for our coaches is under $8,000. So in terms of our budget, it is not a big amount, but I think it is a tremendous gesture for our coaches for what they've done.
Any questions? Okay, we need to approve the consent agenda. Before we do that, are there any questions from the audience on any of the items? All right, is there a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented in items 7A, 7B, 7C, and 7D.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zinnerman?
Yes.
Ms. Havigorst?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Ms. Bethay?
Yes.
Ms. Marks?
Yes, motion carries. We need an executive session to discuss student discipline. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Zinnerman?
Yes.
Ms. Havigorst?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Ms. Bethay?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Ms. Marks?
Yes, motion carries. We will return shortly. All right, we are back in open session. We have several action agenda items tonight. The first is the second payment of February 2023 bills and first payment of March 2023 bills. Are there any questions on the bills?
No. None
Is
for me.
there a motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the Chief School Business Official that the Board of Education authorize a second payment of February 2023 bills and the first payment of March 2023 bills in an amount not to exceed $3,456,640.91.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Havigorst?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Ms. Bethay?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zinnerman?
Yes.
Ms. Marks?
Yes, motion carries. We have action regarding student 31611. Is there a motion?
I think
This was the second student that we discussed.
Number 1. This
This is the second student we discussed in the room.
Okay.
is the first
And it's action item B.
B is in boy. Gotcha.
But we have
But it's,
suggested, and we want the first one, right?
Would we just go moved? Would
Is
we
it
go to the
one?
sentence beneath it, moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent? Can I start there?
No, it's the third one.
What are you talking about?
Oh, right.
This is the one we're acting on.
Yeah, but
Oh,
we have
Roman
several
numeral 3.
options here.
It's the,
So it's number 3?
yeah. Yeah.
It's all of them.
It's all of them. It's all of them.
It is-
Okay,
it
it's
is all of them.
Okay.
okay.
All right, moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board affirms the out-of-school suspension of the student identified in today's closed session. That was number 1. Number 2, the board finds the student eligible for expulsion for a period beginning immediately and ending the last day of the 2022-2023 school year. 3, the board authorizes the assignment of the student by the superintendent to an appropriate alternative placement. And 4, the superintendent and the board council will prepare and deliver notice and findings of the board consistent with the discussion of the board in closed session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Ms. Bethay?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zinnerman?
Yes.
Ms. Havergorst?
Yes.
Ms. Marks?
Yes. Motion carries. We do not need to act on item 9C tonight. We do have employment.
Yes, excited to bring several new staff members on board. Vincent Mason, supervisor at Willow. Crystal Lawson, food service floater. Gail Hogan, supervisor at Willow. Sandra Julin, food service substitute. Wilma Meeks, supervisor at Willow. And in our distinguished presence, pleases me to introduce our new chief school business official, who is seated next to our retiring chief school business official.
Two chiefs.
Two chiefs.
Two chiefs in the room.
right next to each other. Everyone on the board, I'd like you to meet Dr. Trimberger. This is Eric Trimberger, who went through an interview process, a couple of rounds. He brings, his resume is in your packets, but Dr. Trimberger brings a wealth of experience to us, and we are really, really excited to bring his knowledge and expertise on board. Equally sorry that Dr. Gibson will be leaving us, but
You can rein in that smile a little bit.
yeah, excited
Not
for
sorry.
excited for him as he's moving on.
Already typing in Expedia.
Right.
So Eric, welcome.
Welcome. We're thrilled to have you on 153, and we think you're going to love it here.
I'm very excited about the opportunity. Thank you.
Very good.
Okay. Any questions on the employment? Is there a motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education approve the employment of Vincent Mason effective February 20, 2023, Crystal Lawson effective February 28, 2023, Sandra Julin, Gail Hogan, and Wilma Meeks effective March 13, 2033, and Eric Trimberger effective July 1, 2023, upon the terms recommended by the superintendent, conditioned only upon receipt of a satisfactory criminal background report and upon receipt of evidence of proper legal qualifications for the position to be filled.
Before we have a second, I think that you said March 13th, 2030, 33.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it says.
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, it says 2033 there. That's why.
Oh, okay, on here it
10 years.
doesn't.
Oh,
What happened?
Next to Miss Meeks,
You
it
read it
does.
right.
You read it
Okay,
exactly
got
as
it.
it's written.
it's 2023.
Okay, now can we have a second?
Second.
I'm going to change that right now.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Glad to see we're proactive.
Hiring 10 years in advance.
Right.
Roll call. Mr. Bosch.
Yes.
Ms. Bethay.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Zinnerman.
Yes.
Ms. Havergorst.
Yes.
Mr. Booth.
Yes.
Ms. Marks.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries.
Yay.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Are there any discussion items tonight?
No.
No.
Is there any written communication to the board?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Before we adjourn, I just want to wish our families and especially our staff a wonderful spring break. I know we still have a few weeks until it happens, but it will happen before our next board meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Definitely.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Very
Thanks for
good.
coming.
Thank you.